guys, welcome to another close look at some music box sets. Tonight I thought we would have a look at three together, as it's the same band, and we're going to be looking at three box sets from Marillion, who are a band I love. So I'm going to look at three early albums of theirs, box sets that I have, of three of my favourite early albums on them. So we're going to be looking at Script of the Jester's Tear, and the follow-up to that. No, I think this was the I think the follow-up was Fugazi, then Misplaced Childhood, and then we're going to be finally looking at a live box set. So we're going to be looking at two studio albums and a live box set of Marillion. Now, these are from the Fish era of Marillion. I will be looking at Steve Hogarth in another video. I'll look at three albums from that stage of the band that I absolutely adore. So, but today we're just going to be looking at the three box sets covering some of Fish's career of Marillion. So this is Script for a Jester's Tear, which I remember having on vinyl. It's such an amazing cover, amazing artwork. This Jester appeared quite a number of times in Marillion's sort of like releases, so it almost become like a sort of like familiar figure with Marillion fans. And this is a remastered box set of that classic album, and it also includes other discs. So on here we have disc 1, we have the Script of the Jester's Tear, the 2022 remix of the album, so a new recorded version of the album. And then it's followed by disc 2 is Market Square Hero EP. So it's like an EP that came out pretty much the same sort of time as that, and that has also been a 2020 remaster. And disc 3 we have Live at the Marquee Club, the 29th of September 1982, previously unreleased. Disc 4 we have Live at the Marquee Club, 29th of October 1982, part 2, previously unreleased. And disc 5 is a Blu-ray disc containing the audio version of the new Script for the Jester's Tear recording and the Market Square Hero, and also the live. But it also contains the videos for some of their promos: Market Square Hero, He Knows You Know, Garden Party, and Live at the Marquee Club 1982, which just runs for 11 minutes. But it also has a documentary on there which runs for 93 minutes, and a ritual of the Script live at the Hammersmith Odeon, which runs for 81 minutes. So you've actually got a full concert on the disc, so that's amazing. So let's have a look at the actual album itself. So in the first part we come up with disc 1 and 2. So disc 1 is the original album, which the track listing for that is Script for a Jester's Tear, He Knows You Know, The Web, Garden Party, Chelsea Monday, and Forgotten Sons. I love Forgotten Sons, great track. So we take that out and we can have a look at the next disc. If I can just turn it around, I'll pop it on there for you. This is the disc 2, and it has the Market Square Hero EP, which contains Market Square Hero, 3 Boats Down from the Candy, Grendel, which lasts for 17 minutes, hence why there's only 4 tracks on there, and Charting the Single. And they're all 2020 remasters, and they sound incredible. Over here is a little photograph of the band there. This is the sticker that was on the front. I do try to preserve and we have like a bigger artwork of the main cover, which would have opened up on the reverse of the album cover when it was released. And then we got some an essay, if we like to call it that, if you please, and obviously some early photographs of Marillion in the early days. That's a very early photo. Look at that. Oh dear. But yeah, it's very cool booklet. This is these have got to be some of my favourite box sets. These sort of book-like box sets, where they almost will fit on a bookshelf if you wanted to. Again, some early performance photographs of early stages there. Picture of fish. Fish left, I think, I can't remember the year. Someone will tell me in the comments, but I'm sure it was sort of like mid to late 80s he left, and he went to go on his own solo career, which again was quite successful and had his own sort of fan base. I think this year he played his last ever live sort of concert. I think it could have been last year, but he's no longer going to be touring anymore. I'm not sure if it means he's not going to be recording anything anymore, but I'm sure he's retired now from touring. Some early photos there. There they are at the Marquee Club there. I remember Samsung as well. They were quite a heavy metal band, if I remember right. What would I class Marillion as? They're quite similar to things like Jethro Tull in a lot of ways, where they combine a number of things. They do have a sort of a prog rock feel to them, but then they have a British rock feel to them, and then they also have kind of folk roots to them as well. So that they're kind of quite similar in a lot of ways. That's just my personal opinion, and you don't need to put in comments, oh, they're nothing like Jethro Tull or anything like excuse me. That's just your opinion. This is my opinion, and I think they are. I think they've got the same sort of pedigree, in the sense of like where they've been influenced by bands like Jethro Tull, Genesis, and things like that. And when I say Genesis, I obviously mean the early Genesis with Peter Gabriel days. I see and hear the influence through that as well. And they went on to influence other bands. Like when I listen to Porcupine Tree, I hear quite a lot of similarities in sounds. I'm thinking, oh, that sounds a lot like Marillion. So they've obviously been influential on other bands too. I believe Stephen Wilson of I will get there. Porcupine Tree is a fan of the band and has produced and remixed some of these remasters that we have of Marillion. Some great artwork there. Reminds me of The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Maybe that was a little play on that. Very cool. These look like shots from the promo videos. And this is the end of a sort of overview or interview from a prog magazine from 2019. We've got some live photographs there. Script of the Jester's Tear. So these are the song lyrics. Yeah, I really like Forgotten Sons, really do. I'm sure they're pretty much the same lineup. Again, let me know down below if it's true or not. I'm sure they're the same lineup, obviously apart from change of frontman, which changed the whole sort of way the band were. Like I said, at this stage they were very sort of almost like a prog rock sound with folk sort of roots in it. And the Steve Hogarth part to me is more of a sort of rockier side, in a sense. When I say rockier, they're actually, most of their songs are quite slow, but in a sense of like when I'm talking about the more modern kind of rock, more modern progressive rock, like Porcupine Tree and stuff like that. A lot of, there's a lot of sounds there. Well, this was more like a sort of almost like a Genesis kind of sounding. Again, it's just my opinions, guys. Don't take anything I say seriously, okay? Yeah. So here we have the sleeve notes for the albums, and talking about the new recordings. I'm surprised that Stephen Wilson didn't do this one, but there we go. So, and here we have, in this one is the DVD. Like I said, it has Slack Clothes and Grease Paint, which is the story of Script of the Jester's Tear, 93 minutes. Then we have Retro of the Script live at Hammersmith Odeon, which lasts for 81 minutes. And we have the 2 promo videos. And at the back here is the live disc. So if we take these off, you have to push the middle down on these, guys, just so I can show you the back. Right, and so the track listing for the live concert is on disc 1. We have Garden Party, 3 Boats Down from the Candy, Grendel, Chelsea Monday, He Knows You Know. And on disc 2 is The Web, Script of the Jester's Tear, Forgotten Sons, Market Square Heroes, and Margaret. So we'll pop those back on there. So that is the live disc, and that is the reverse. Fantastic. So that is a closer look at the remastered 2020 remix of Script of the Jester's Tear. Now, before we move on to Misplaced Childhood, I want to bring in the live box set, which is Early Stages, the official bootleg box set, 1982 to 1987. Now, it says it's bootleg, but there is no sense of any sort of bootleg recording at all in this recording. They're all professionally recorded and sound fantastic. There is a concert in here that is similar to the one on here. This one was recorded on the 29th of December 1982, and I think the one in this set could possibly be the 30th of December 1982. We'll check that out when we get to it. So this is the box set here. So we have the Mayfair Glasgow, 13th of September 1982, the Marquee, 30th December 1982, so I was right, the Marquee, 30th of December Part 2, the Reading Festival, August 1983, Hammersmith Odeon, 14th of December 1984, and Wembley Arena at November 1987. You can see their progression from the Marquee through festivals to then they're playing like Odeons, and then they're playing at arenas. So that's how their career progressed with Fish. So let's take out the discs and we'll have a little look. These will be in the wrong order because I've just recently been listening to some of these. So please bear with me while I put these into the correct order. Okay. Let's have a little look. Part 1, part 2. Yeah. In that one. Then that one, and then the last one. Okay, and then there's the booklet. So we'll have a little look at the discs. So this is the Mayfair Glasgow. Really nice, almost like a patchwork look of our Jester there, taking his mask off. And the track listing for this show is Garden Party, The Web, He Knows You Know, She Chameleon, 3 Boats Down the Candy, Market Square Hero, and Forgotten Sons. And there's the disc. So that's disc 1. Disc 2 is the Marquee, the 30th of December 1982, part 1. The track listings on this is Garden Party, 3 Boats Down for the Candy, Grendel, and Chelsea Monday. It's 4 tracks, but it lasts 45 minutes. Yeah, Marillion are not really known for quite short songs. Apart from maybe Misplaced Childhood. Disc 3 is the 30th of December 1982, part 2. 3 different versions there of Fish. The tracks on this one is He Knows You Know, The Web, Script of the Jester's Tear, Forgotten Sons, Market Square Hero, and Margaret. So the set listing is quite similar to the one that's on this set, but they're different nights. Then there's the Reading Rock Festival from the 27th of August 1983. Their track listing at Reading was Grendel, Garden Party, Script of the Jester's Tear, Assassin, Charting the Single, Forgotten Sons, He Knows You Know, and Market Square Hero. And that set runs for 74 minutes. Very cool. Now this next one I listened to the other night and it's phenomenal. Really cool. And this is the Hammersmith Odeon, 14th of December 1984. Includes the tracks Assassin, Garden Party, Cinderella Search, Punch and Judy, Jigsaw, Chelsea Monday, and then it went into Misplaced Childhood Part 1, and that went on to Incubus and then Fugazi. If you don't know, Misplaced Childhood was a bit more of a concept album where a lot of the songs run through into one another to make one kind of long song. Then the last disc in the set is at Wembley, Thursday the 5th of November, and I can't remember the year, 1987 possibly, yep, 87. The track listing is it Slante Mahath, White Russian, Incubus, Sugar Mice, Fugazi, Hotel Hobbies, Warm Wet Circles, That Time of the Night, The Last Straw. Then we have another Misplaced Childhood set to end that concert. And there's the disc. So they are all the live discs that are in that set. They're very, very cool. I don't know what my favourite one is. I really did like the Hammersmith one though. Very cool. So we'll have a little quick look at the booklet that comes with it. Not a lot to look in it because it's just wordings, and it just gives you information about the shows and the track listings in their entirety there. So there's not much to look at within this booklet, but it's important information for these discs. So it's housed in this clamshell box set. Long time out of print now, I believe, this box set. So that is the early stages of the bootleg box set, 1982 to 1987. There is one for Steve Hogarth. I do not have that one, and again it's out of print, so it goes for silly money, so I won't be getting that one. So let's finish up then with the last of the 3 box sets, and we're going to be looking at Misplaced Childhood. I do believe this is a Steven Wilson mix of the album. Again, just like the Script of the Jester's Tear, it comes in the same sort of book, sort of like way it's produced there. So let's have a little look at the set. So we have disc 1, Misplaced Childhood, which I believe to be the Steven Wilson mix of the album, with Pseudo Silk Kimono, Kaylee, Lavender, Bittersweet, Heart of Lothian, Waterhole, Lords of the Backstage, Blind Curve, Childhood's End, and White Feather. Disc 2 is the first part of a live album, which isn't in the other box set, and it's live at Utrecht, which is at either Germany or Holland. And this set list begins with an intro with Emerald Lies, and goes into Script of the Jester's Tear, Incubus, Chelsea Monday, and The Web. And then we get to the booklet. Again, amazing artwork. This was a gatefold cover. That was the front, that was the back. And then we have a fish with his sweatband on his head there. Pictures from this time. So he's wrapped up in the quilt there. Some great artwork, fantastic artwork on these early Marillion albums. Some really early shots there from the promo videos. This is such a good album, guys. To me, it's one of the best albums of the 1980s. Shows how many awards that album looks like it's won. Some live visuals. Single photos of the band. Mark Wilkinson and Robert Mead. That's a great shot. Very U2. Then we go through all the lyrics of the songs. That's a great piece of artwork. You see what I mean by the sort of folk sort of part of it? There's no more sort of British folk than that kind of photo, really, is it? And when I say British, I don't just mean England, I mean Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. Stay Alive in 1985. I was surprised. I don't think Marillion was at Live Aid. Surprised, to be honest. I could be wrong. Looks like Bono there. Looks like someone from Duran Duran. And then we have the breakdown of each track on each disc. This is some of the lineup now. Still members of the band now. No Fish in there. But yeah. These will be sort of like some of the early demo tapes. And then we go to the Blu-ray disc, which contains the Stephen Wilson remixes, which is on the CD. And also extra tracks at Lady Nina. It also has Childhood Memories documentary and promo DVD. So there is some video on here, but it's just a documentary and promo videos. So there's no sort of live concert on that one. But then we come to the last two discs, and this one is the second part of the concert. Let me just have a double check to see if it tells me where that is. I'm sure that's Holland, but I could be wrong. Please correct me. The second part of the concert contains Misplaced Childhood in its entirety. So they're playing the whole album there. And then on obviously the encore, we've got Fugazi, Garden Party, Market Square Hero. And our final disc is alternative versions and demos. Contains Lady Nina, Freaks, Kaylee Alternative Mix, Lavender Blue, Heart of Lothian Extended Mix, Lady Ninda Stereo Mix, Soda Silk Kimono, Kaylee, Lavender, Bittersweet, Brief Encounter, Lost Weekend, Laws of the Back Church, Blue Angel and Misplaced Rendezvous, Heart of Lothian, Wide Boy, Curtain Call, Waterhole, Espresso Bongo, Passing Strangers, Milo, Perimeter Walk, Threshold, Childhood Ends, and White Feathers. So it's got alternative versions and demos. So this is more, to me, of a complete sessions of this whole album recordings, because you do have the album, you have a live concert, and you have all these singles and sort of like demos and alternative versions of tracks, and in a wonderful documentary on the Blu-ray, which lasts for 72 minutes. So that is a closer look at my favourite albums from the Fish era of Marillion. Like I said, at a later date we will go and have a look at some from the Steve Hogarth. Cheers.